All right, day two and no sequester held. The second day of business with sequestration in, and we're still trying to look for all the problems that are cropping up. No problems. You're looking live inside Denver International, where it's business as usual again today. Don't see many long lines there. Same goes for Phoenix. Things moving along just nicely. So what about all those scary warnings from the likes of Janet Napolitano about massive delays and long lines because of big cuts? Katie Pavlich still waiting. Katie, I think you're going to be waiting some more.
I think so. The only flight delays that I saw, Neil, were coming out of Chicago, where they're having a massive snowstorm headed for Washington, D.C.
Well, that's sequestration. That's a snowstorm sequestration.
Snowquestration, Neil, is what it's called.
Okay.
Snowquestration, right. But the point is that, look, Janet Napolitano and all of these officials in the Obama administration have been given their talking points to make this seem as bad as possible. We've seen them portray this image that if you don't have the government spending and the government helping with all of these tasks, your life is going to be miserable. Well, as we've seen throughout airports in the country over the weekend and this week so far, the images don't add up to what Janet Napolitano said in terms of long lines and horrific conditions at our airports. Even the FAA isn't reporting widespread delays on the runway either.
You know what worries me, though? Like a broken record, you could be right. You know, even a broken clock is right twice a day. And I think what I fear is that for the next long security line wait or worse, they'll go back to told you so sequestration when it might be a variety of other factors, not the least of which could be, you know, incompetent TSA personnel, a security lapse having nothing to do with sequestration. But it's sort of like that backup excuse for the powers that be.
Oh, absolutely. They're going to use this thing to their advantage as long as possible. And I've been at the airport a lot, especially in the last year. And there's been lots of security delays, TSA delays, FAA delays that had nothing to do with sequestration. It has to do with the way the government is efficient and the way they use their time. And we're not seeing so far it adding up, but we might in the future see it blamed on this, as you just mentioned.
Well, you know, Katie, my buddy Ed Henry raised this very issue about what Janet Napolitano was saying and the warnings and the scare tactics with Jay Carney today at the White House. So I want you to listen to this and react to this.
Okay.
There are real people out there who will be delayed or who will have their wages cut or who will lose their jobs as a result of the sequester.
I'm sure you're aware that on social media there are real people that you cite who are tweeting from airports all around the country saying, I'm not seeing any long lines. Now that may just be anecdotal.
And I think you should go with the story that the sequester is having no effects.
See that? Sequester's having no effect. What do you think of that?
Well, Neil, I find Jay Carney's comments ironic because the Oversight Committee came out today with a new report showing that inspectors generals from all over the federal government, it's their job to find waste and abuse. And they've come up with $67 million worth of recommendations that would save taxpayers $67 million, or billion, with a B, $billion a year. And that's 78% of sequesters. So if Jay Carney wants to talk about real people and what the president can do now to help people save their jobs and to make sure people don't have to stand in these long, non-existent security lines at the airport, they should look at having these recommendations that are given by nonpartisan inspectors generals from every department in the federal government implemented immediately. $67 billion, not just today or tomorrow, every single year for taxpayers.
All right. As Katie was speaking, I want to thank you, Katie. You noticed that curious phenomena, too, in those airline boards, everything running on time.
Thanks, guys.
For now.
Talk to you soon.
For now.
You too.